Inside Edition investigates airplane safety and the secrets that can save your life. Watch Inside Edition Monday at 7:30.
Thank you for joining us. We're having fun here reminiscing to some of our favorite music from the 60s. In 1966, I was a disc jockey on the rock station WNEW-FM and went on to be a disc jockey for 10 years. I played all those great songs that we all remember, the ones you could actually sing along with and the ones that made you feel like dancing. Well, we're going to have a lot of that going on here today because we've invited some of your favorite rock stars from the 60s and the 70s. Here's who you're going to meet today. The man who had everybody doing the twist, Chubby Checker. And who could forget It's My Party and Judy's Turn to Cry. Leslie Gore is here. What about the man who had us dancing to the hit single Quarter to Three, Mr. Gary U.S. Bond? Lots more. Okay, let's get started. My first guest once said, I can't explain why the girls all think I'm cute, but millions of girls could. And they saw him as a sex symbol. Back in the 60s, he and 3 other mop tops were brought together as a singing group for one of the hottest shows on television. He's here today singing one of his many hit songs, Daydream Believer. Please welcome from the Monkees, Davy Jones.
Now, I was backstage there, and this guy says to me, "You're Dudley Moore, aren't you?" I said, "I've never heard of the guy before. What are you talking about? You're a hooker? I thought I was doing so well." I could hide neath the wing of the 6 o'clock alarm would never ring. But it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Shaving razors cold and it sings. Cheer up, sleepy Jane. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight's on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. And all good times start, they never end, without all the ones you spend. But how much, baby, do we really need? Everybody, cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Everybody, skate backwards. Here we go. Do you remember this?
Listen to that. Wow. I would have said that my staff was too young and they're standing there screaming. Do you always have women screaming at you?
It's usually either my ex-wife or my daughters, actually.
Okay, explain to me the Monkees. How in heck did the Monkees begin? How did this all start?
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's so long ago. It's 1966. We were put together by a television company, and we were given the opportunity to take part in a show, The Monkees. We made 56 episodes of The Monkees. When you think something like Fawlty Towers was only 12 episodes, we did 56 of these things, 2 years, prime time. They had auditions. They wanted to...
Was it because of the Beatles?
I think the Beatles had a lot to do with it. But the Beatles had a lot to do with a lot of things in pop music, you know, and I think a lot of the other artists will say the same thing, you know. There was very few originals.
Where were you, Davy, when they said you're a monkey?
I was actually acting in the theatre, as I am now. I'm working in Oliver right now in St. Louis at the Muni Theatre. Instead of playing the Artful Dodger, which I was playing at the time, in Oliver, I now play Fagin, the old man. My kids said it's about time I acted my age, so I'm talking like this, my dear. Come here, sit down by the fire. So
you were the little kid, and they made you...
I'm still the little kid.
Now, but wait, you were married? The Monkees were supposed to be available to everyone.
Well, we were still available. It's just that we were married. Only joking. Wow.
Did they tell you not to tell people that you were married?
Well, it was a bit later than that. You know, we were doing the Monkees for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden I got hitched, you know. I thought it was the right thing to do. I've got 4 beautiful daughters, all girls.
Oh. What is that you are wearing, my dear?
Monkey shirt. It's Monkeys and Boys and Heart. It's an old shirt.
There you go. A fan.
An old shirt, huh? It's funny, I've never seen my smile on my face like that before. How long did that kind of intense spotlight last, and what happened when it was over? About this long, actually. It lasted about that. It was fantastic, you know. I mean, it still is fantastic. The people that remember them, other than when they say, I look like Dudley Moore, you know, I start talking like this. But it went on and it goes on. It goes on for all of us, all the artists here today, you know. We're still working, we're still travelling, we're still doing fairs and parks and television shows and things like that. So we're always in the public eye, and I think if you want to entertain, you've got to continue to keep working. The Monkees has gone on. People know the Monkees all over the world. 36 countries the Monkees went to.
Whoa. Another adorable teen idol whose group hit the charts around the same time as the Monkees. One of his most popular tunes had everybody bopping up and down in their seats. Let's watch.
Henry VIII, I am. No, Henry VIII, I am. I got married to the widow next door. Been married 7 times before, and everyone was an Henry. There never was a Willie or a Sam. I'm the one and only Henry. Henry VIII, I am.
He's charming, good-looking, and still entertaining us on TV's VH1, My Generation, singing one of my favorites, There's a Kind of a Hush. Please welcome, from Herman's Hermits, Peter Noon.
There's a kind of hush all over the world. Tonight, all over the world, you can hear the sounds of lovers in love. You know what I mean? Just the 2 of us and nobody else. Inside, there's nobody else, and I'm feeling love, just holding you tight. So listen very carefully, closer now, and you will see what I mean. isn't a dream. The only sound that you will hear is when I whisper in your ear, I love you. Forever and ever. There's a kind of hush all over the world. Tonight, all over the world, you can hear the sounds of lovers in love. All the children sing. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. So listen very carefully, closer now, and you will see what I mean. It isn't a dream. The only sound that you will hear is when I whisper in your ear, I love you. Forever and ever. There's a kind of hush all over the world. Tonight, all over the world, people just like us are falling in love. Yeah, they're falling in love. They're falling in love.
Now back to the number one.
You have to clear something up for me. I don't understand how Peter is Herman, is a derivative of Herman.
No, it was from the Bullwinkle show. There was a guy in there called Sherman and Professor Peabody, and we thought it was Herman and Professor Peabody.
And you really, people still say Herman,
Oh, yes,
don't
it's
they?
on my passport. Peter Blair, Dennis Bernard Noon, also known as Herman.
AKA. You were very young when you had your first hit. How did that start?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to watch the Monkeys show on TV.
Oh, no!
No, I was at a College of Music in Manchester. Davy and I we were both in the same TV series in England when we were kids.
Really?
You played somebody's grandson, and I played somebody's son, even though we were the same age. Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. There's a song of your... Mrs. Somebody, You've Got a Lovely...
Mrs. Silverberg. No, Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter.
What's the second line of that song?
Girls as sharp as her are something rare.
Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more surprises.
The secret.
My husband tells me that I'm in Trivial Pursuit. What talk show host was for 11 years a rock disc jockey? C'est moi. So from WNEW-FM, I went to KDKA Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you are just joining us, I am here with Davy Jones of the Monkees and Peter Noon of Herman's Hermit. What about the VH1 My Generation? That's very exciting.
It's fabulous for me because it means I can interview all my friends, you know, from the 60s. And incredibly, like backstage here, every single person on the show I know, which is really nice. You know, it's good to get like this band of like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in your dressing room.
And it does very well. Doesn't VH1 do
it does very
well?
well. My show is the #1 rated show.
Hey,
on
Gal,
VH1.
come, I haven't been on that
You're getting your own special.
My next guest moved a generation. There isn't a person alive who can't get up and twist. He's the man who single-handedly started the dance craze and is one of our pop idols from the early 60s. Singing his hit song, Let's Twist Again, welcome Chubby Checker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Chubby, Chubby.
Tell Dick to watch out, Sally's American Bandstand. Okay. Ernest Evans, born October 3rd, 1941 in South America.
Now everybody knows.
You look about 32.
I understand. Where did Checkers come from?
Well, Mrs. Dick Clark, I was chubby, doing a Fats Domino song, and she says, checker, like domino, because I was doing something for Dick Clark. She says, checker, like domino.
There it was.
One chubby checker.
How did the twist come about, though?
Well, some of the kids in the inner city was doing this dance. A record by Hank Ballard had been out some months ago, but it wasn't a very big hit. So we took the song, we says, how can we explain what the twist really is? And so we said that the best way to describe it to all the people is that you put out a cigarette with both feet, right? Coming out of the shower, wiping off your bottom with a towel, to the beat of the music, change the world. I
always like to ask people the jobs you had before. In other words, where were you when this happened?
I worked for Henry Caltabiano at 1014 South 9th Street. And then I worked for Tony Anastasi at the produce market on 9th Street because he gave me the name Chubby. But I was the fastest chicken guy on the street. Sally, I could do things with knives. I could dissect a bird in 6 seconds.
Good to know.
And I was good.
I always, we were asking about the American Bandstand. For all of you, what did it mean?
Well, for me, I didn't know about it until I did it.
He's British, he didn't know about that.
I was in school, I had a hit record, I got out of school, and I came to America, and suddenly there was all these TV shows. I'd never heard of Ed Sullivan even in those days. So it actually meant nothing to me, but I will tell you that Dick Clark liked Herman's Hermits. He heard the record, and he put us on our first ever American tour. We did 80 dates on this Dick Clark Caravan of Stars. Caravan was a better name. It was actually a bus of stars. Yeah. And it broke us in America. By the end of the tour, we had 3 top 10 records.
With the Monkees, we didn't... This is great. I can't believe I'm sitting next to Chubby Checker. This is amazing.
How about me?
Oh, you too, mate.
And me.
We'll be right back.
I can pay my bills. This is racial treason.
We are talking to interracial couples whose neighbors want them out.
The battle rages next, Sally.
We're back, and we've been twisting with Chubby Checker. Peter had to go pick up his wife, is that correct?
Coming in from France, yeah.
At the airport?
Yeah, so he hasn't seen her in about 2 months, so...
Uh-oh.
Remember, this is a talk show.
Well, no, she spends the summer in France with her parents, so... You know, we're on the road all summer, so it's a bit hard for families to travel with you know?
And so there it goes.
There it goes.
I was fired as a disc jockey from KDKA Pittsburgh, and I next went to WQAM Miami Beach, Florida. My next guest was a petite teenager at that time, in the early 60s. She had a song called It's My Party.
Yes.
It hit the charts and went right to #1.
Yes.
In the next couple of years, her success continued, and she was voted Best Female Vocalist.
Yes.
She's been with us before. She's here today singing every baby boomer's favorite song, It's My Party.
Yes.
Please welcome Leslie Gore. behind your back over there on the side, you look marvelous.
I look marvelous? Thank you.
You really look wonderful.
May I just say this is the best backup group I've ever had. You folks are terrific. Thank you.
You were discovered when you were only in high school?
That's right.
How did that happen?
I was a junior in high school. I was going to school in Englewood, New Jersey. And from Englewood, is that right? And a gentleman by the name of Irving Green found me originally, and he was the president of Mercury Records.
How did he find you? I mean, what were you doing?
Actually, I had recorded some demo records. And he heard the demo records, and he handed me over as a project to Quincy Jones, who could land in better hands. So that was the guy that I made my first records with. As a matter of fact, we made about 12 or 13 albums together.
Did you know when the first one was done what was going to happen? I mean,
no,
you're
actually,
a high school person.
I didn't, and I think actually one of the deals that we made with Mercury was Mercury actually told my parents, don't worry about anything. These records will probably never get heard. Leslie will go to college, and she'll get married and do all the normal things she's supposed. Don't worry about anything. But what happened was, we recorded It's My Party on March 30th, 1963. 1 week, well, I'll tell the whole story. That night, Quincy Jones was at Carnegie Hall to see Charles Aznavour, who was one of his artists on Mercury. And that very evening, Phil Spector arrived, got out of his limo, ran up the steps, and he told Quincy that he was recording one of the best songs he ever heard with a group called the Crystals. And Quincy said, well, what's the name of the song? And Phil said the name of the song is It's My Party. We realized at that point that the publisher had kind of double-dealt us both. Quincy got an exclusive for me, and someone gave Phil an exclusive for the Crystals. Quincy, the very next morning, went into the studio with Phil Ramone, whose wife is sitting right backstage today, and they recorded 100 acetates, sent them out to disc jockeys like yourself, and I heard it on the radio the very first time, April 6th, 1 week later, 1 week after I recorded it.
But you would probably say to yourself, you would say to yourself, they can't get a record out in a week. They can't do it.
You don't even record a record in a week today. That's the thing. I was driving home from school. It was a Friday. And I'm driving home. I was right on Engle Street. And I hear, bop-bom, and I'm listening going, gosh, this is the record I recorded. And I suddenly realized it was my record. And it was on the air. And I swear I pulled over to the right, hit a hydrant, and it was quite a moment because it was very wet very suddenly.
More when we come back.
Very exciting.
As the 60s turned into the 70s, I was once again fired, broke, and out of work. And I got to tell you, that brings a halt to your disc jockey career pretty quickly. We have been talking with Davy Jones from the Monkees, Chubby Checker, and Leslie Gore. If you were a teenager in the 60s, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing and dancing to this next song. In fact, it's hard to sit in your seat when this man sings it. Get ready. Singing Quarter to Three, welcome Gary U.S. Bond. I said it to Leslie, I have to say it to you. You're still gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
This man sang gospel, right? Before he started doing what he's doing?
Well, yeah, I did a little bit of that, you know, after I had to do it. Else I was going to hell, I tell you that.
We've been talking about fans throughout the show, and you have a great story about a fan of yours, right?
Oh, yeah, that guy?
Yeah. Well, it happened in an audience like this, right?
Well, yeah, it was just sort of, well, they were a little, well, they had been drinking. This audience looks pretty.
Well, now, don't be too sure.
Straight here. No, I met Bruce. Well, you know, Bruce Springsteen. Remember that guy? Still owes me $5, I swear. And he came into a club. I was working in Jersey, and walked in. I didn't know who he was. Oh, Jersey, we got that right. I had no idea who he was. It was just a guy in dungarees. He came with two guys, and they sat down. One of the guys got up and said, look, I got a buddy of mine who wants to sing. I said, sure, you know.
In the middle of a show?
Oh, yeah, well, you know. Well, we do that in nightclubs, you know, in Jersey.
And
I said, sure.
With too many people in Jersey.
Yeah. Anyway, I says, okay, because it gave me time to go to the bar and, you know, have a Coca-Cola or something. And I mentioned his name. I went, and we got a young guy here who wants to sing with me. How about it for Bruce Springsteen? And the place went. You know, and I'm going, who the hell is this guy? You know? You know, I had no idea who he was.
You're like me.
Yes.
Hey, who? When we come back, a man who says he owes his career to our guests. Well, I've been telling you about how unsuccessful I was in my chosen career. Now you're going to meet the guy who really made it happen. I'll give you a hint. He's America's favorite cousin. Stay with us.
They made him a pig.
Well, guys, as I said, I didn't make it as a disc jockey. Nothing has to be said about my next guest. He started in New York City, 1961. He was there right from the beginning. He brought us and still continues to bring us all the songs that fill our hearts. One of the most popular DJs in the entire history of rock and roll radio. Yeah. The author of a book, Cousin Brucie. Welcome, Cousin Brucie Morrow. Us from the first generation of rock and roll, what is it about the music that it won't die? You can't let it die.
I think the answer is in this room. We call it in the business E and E. You know what that stands for? Emotion and energy. That's it.
I like that.
Talking about energy, these two women heard we were doing the show, bought themselves a ticket, and came all the way from
Iowa
to see
David Jones.
There you go. Why don't you walk up and shake his hand? Go ahead.
Davy, can't see you.
I see him, Davy.
And where is Cousin Brucie today?
Well, I'm having a very good time. I hope I have a few cousins in the room. Thank you. Dottie, I'm with CBS FM, and I'm on all during the week. And I have shows that go all over the country, and we have a show in England, and I do films, and I'm busier and happier, and these are my kids. You know...
How many years? How can anybody still be a disc jockey 30 years later?
I'm not a disc jockey. I don't like that word.
Why?
I'm their daddy.
Oh. It's a noble profession.
Leslie wants to discuss her allowance.
Discuss my allowance.
You know, the car payment.
When I grew up listening, my disc jockey, my radio personality was a guy named Alan Freed, who was credited with coining. And when I listened to the music, this was the first man I listened to that sounded like the music, and I said, I'm going to give up my career as a brain surgeon. I was practicing on East 26th Street in Brooklyn. I was 6 years old. I had a doctor kit, a very thriving practice, and I said, I'm going to be like this guy. And then my kids came along, and everybody started taking advantage of these people in those days. And I said, there got to be some people out here to take care of these people. And I've spent my life being their friend. And we put them on. I'm the conduit, and I go on my shows on CBS FM. And we do this all the time, and it keeps growing. And it's, as you can see in this audience, and I'm watching this in the your green room. And what's wonderful, this is the first kind of music, pop music, that is multi-generational. Everybody in this room, and we have people of all ages in this room in your audience, and they all know the lyrics. They all sing to Chubby and Leslie and Davy.
Oh, David! Some of the guys from CBS are here, right?
Well, we have
from CBS?
Sally. Sally.
I'd like to ask Davy if we're going to see another Monkees reunion real soon.
Well, I hope so. 1996, I think, is the Monkees' 30th anniversary, but the rights to the show have now been given back to the original producer, Ray Burt Productions, and they're getting together, and in fact, I got a phone call a couple of days ago.
You just had a show, a tour.
Yeah, well, we did.
We made $100 million.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
You did.
First of all, I just want to say that everybody looks great. Chubby Checker, you did a song a couple of years back with the Fat Boys. Oh, yes. Right? How did that all get together? How did you guys
It was a weight thing.
It was a
thing all the people got together.
It was a very heavy experience. I mean, the Fat Boys came looking for me. They says, "Hey, Chubby, we wanted you to sing a twist. We want to sing a twist." I said, so sing it. He said, no. You're going to sing, we're going to rap. I said, oh.
You don't sound like a homeboy.
Went into the studio. I did Chubby Checker, did the Fat Boys, and believe me, in about 10 days, the record was out on the street, and it was wonderful. And I love those guys. I love them because when I first started, they weren't even born, but their parents. Wow. So, I love you, Fat Boys, all of you. Marky D.
What about the...
Buffy.
Bruce, what about the music today?
Well, as I said, the music today, I always tell people you must listen to it. Now, I do not like rap music. I cannot, it doesn't hit my ear. Whoa. However, I listen to it. I listen to it. I like Chubby Checker singing with rapper. It makes it a little easier for me. The music today, it's like any other popular music, Sally, is reflective of its time. It's important and urgent that everybody listens to all kinds of music, and we can't put it down. Really shouldn't.
There's an audience for everything, you know.
Yes,
There's
yes.
lots of audience out there.
Yes, my daughter is driving me crazy in the house. She wants to
send her to
become
boarding school.
No, she wants to become a singer. What's the best advice a mother can give to her daughter?
Oh my goodness.
Bruce, what about the people who were literally raped by the business?
Well, remember we did a whole show on that not so long ago, Sally. Ooh. Today we have a lot of protections. It's a good business today, but listen, please accept this and accept this as Bible. She must go to school. These people are all, as you see, extremely intelligent. We do fool around a lot. They all go to college. They all went to school. You must finish your education. There's no such thing as anybody going on the road today and just becoming a star. Those days are over.
It never even really
but
happened.
Don't discourage her. Let her try it. Let her try it.
Sarah Lawrence, right?
That's right.
Boy, I remembered.
How did you get your name Cousin Brucey?
Well, that's kind of a fun story, and I'll do that real quickly. I was at WINS in New York City, really starting my career as a young radio personality, and a little black lady came into the studio with white hair, and she said to me, sir, do you believe we're all related? Now, I'm a kid from Brooklyn, so I know when someone's out going to hit me for something. I know. She came and I said, yes, ma'am, I believe we're all related. She said, cousin, lend me 50 cents to get home, I'm broke. I gave the little old lady 50 cents, and she never paid me back.
Do you know what you owe her for that name?
Do any of you still have your original outfits, and aren't you glad to see that some of the fashions are coming back?
Dave?
Yeah. I got a lot of my shit. He's got lots of it.
I actually have a jacket that I wore on a show called The Brady Bunch years ago, right?
Take a break. We'll be right back.
Like to order a video cassette of Sally's show for only $24.95. Call Video Archives at 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. For a transcript, send $3 to 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203, or call 303-831-9000.
I got to tell you something. It's the only time we've ever had a rehearsal, and I saw my entire staff just standing there having a perfectly wonderful time. Now, listen. Please, please tell everyone that you watched this show so that we can do some more of this. We'd really appreciate it. I had a ball.
Some members of our audience will receive, and a promotional fee has been provided by...
Introducing the 1993 line of better cleaning scrubbing bubbles. Now with more shining power. Dow Bathroom Cleaner. We work even harder so you don't have to.
The Murine Earwax Removal System has drops that safely loosen wax, plus an ear washer to gently flush wax away. Murine, the complete medically approved earwax removal system.
Monday, I soak my dentures. Tuesday, I brush.
Wait, all you need is denture cream. It gets your dentures cleaner and fresher than soaks. Denture cream does it all. Better.
Did you worry about perming your hair? Not with new Lilt for total condition. With conditioners built in, it's the worry-free perm.
They called her Blackbird. She